Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkandbutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me today for another card making video. My video today is the card I have made for the Inspire Create challenge. So it's a colour challenge this time around. I love colour challenges, I think they're really fun, and it really makes you think about using stuff in different ways in some cases. But this one really screamed flowers at me, so we're going to go with a lovely floral card today using the Enduring Beauty stamps, dies and layering masks. So it all comes together. You can buy each item individually or as a bundle, so it's a really lovely set, and you get some nice sentiments in the set too. This is the stamp set. Okay, so you've got all those nice sentiments, and plus this focal image that then has a coordinating die and the layering masks to go over the top. Okay, so the colours that we're working with are these guys. So we've got Fresh Freesia, Lemon Lime Twist and Pretty Peacock. Okay, so yes, like I say, it just said florals to me, so we're going to pop those to one side just for a second. I'm going to bring in some stuff to help with what I'm doing today. So I've just got my little silicone mat and some scrap paper so I can do some stamp off the ink. The silicone mat is going to help keep the ink pads still while I'm doing my ink blending. And I've also got my little, I don't know, it's just off camera, but there's other little tidy holes for things, so I'm just going to keep that stamp mounted up where I can find it there on that mat so it doesn't go walkabout. Okay, so we're going to get cracking on this then. I'm going to do the card a little different this time around. I've done direct to paper on the layer here and just kept it quite square. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit of a variation on the theme with this. So I'm going to bring in my retired stamper artist tool because it will help me keep everything lined up. So I already cut some cardstock ready to go, and I have my masks ready to go here as well. So we're going to start with those and get this all inked up. So I'm just going to use the magnet to help me keep everything straight. I've secured the cardstock onto the insert, the foam insert on this, just to keep everything square and neat and lined up. Okay, so we'll start with the Fresh Freesia, and for this base layer I only want quite a nice light layer of ink, so I'm just going to just put just a merest bit of the ink on the brush. I'm just going to use little circles to go around the edges of those petals. Okay, and so I don't want this to be too heavy. I want it to look like a really nice, soft, delicate flower. And some have like they're almost white with coloured edges around them. Okay, so I think that will do for that. Okay, so that was mask number one, and the masks are all numbered up. There is a number just there. Okay, so you can use them in the order. So that's just shifted a bit as I took that mask off, because I've taped everything down and it's going to be wedged in that corner. I know that it's going to line up. So I'm going to put in the next one. Now I'm actually going to use these out of order. This is actually the number 3 because I want to just use this ink pad and get all the Fresh Freesia elements done. A little bit more ink, so we're going to go tone on tone to build up the layers on this. So this is going to give us some depth to those petals and give them some shape and detail. So we're just going to go over that. So of course we're just layering the ink over the top. So what the classic ink pads are water based, so these masks are going to clean up really easily. The chamois gets them cleaned off really well. And if you did purchase or did join and get the glass mat and the little silicone tray, it came with a soft cloth similar to the chamois, similar material. That would work a treat too. So here's the final level. This is actually number 5, so we've used 1, 3 and 5, which make up this layered flower. So these are the centres of the flowers, and then this one I'm going to go straight in and work over those little tiny images to get them really nice and dark and pop out from the centre. So generally speaking, when I do a colour challenge, I try not to introduce any additional colours apart from, say, the black. So I am going to do the black outline and the black sentiment on this one. So I just like to try and stay as true to it as possible. Just keeping all that nice and lined up by keeping it pushed into that corner. And if you do backwards and forwards, anti-clockwise, clockwise, it makes sure you get a really nice coverage on your image. And I'm holding the brush head, applying more pressure, which also helps too. So you want a nice soft blend. Hold your brush further down if you want the ink nice and intense, and put that pressure on by holding it further up. Okay, so those are nice and dark. Okay, I can just lift that off now, she says. So we've got our lovely soft purpley pink flowers there. Okay, so we're done with fresh freesia. We can pop that away, and then we'll come in with our lemon lime twist. And then we've got stencil number 2, or mask number 2 I should say. This is going to be our base layer for our leaves. Okay, and again, I don't want this to be super bright. It's a very bright colour, lemon lime twist. It really, on the brush, it really picks up the colour. You only have to tap it a little bit and it picks up quite a lot of colour. As always with ink, you can go light and then add more ink if you want to. Whereas if you go in heavy and it's too dark, obviously you're still stuck with it. So, and again, if you go anti-clockwise as well as clockwise, you'll catch different edges of the image there. So again, not going too heavy over that. Okay, it's still nice and bright. And then we've got our last one, which is actually number 4, which is going to give us that like the stems and the veins of the leaves. Okay, which we're going to do in the Pretty Peacock. Okay, so this little silicone mat just keeps everything nice and steady for me. Almost used the wrong brush then. Again, ooh, I've stuck my finger in it. Oh dear. Let's just wipe that off quickly, otherwise it's going to end up somewhere. Okay, look at that. So the best way to get ink off your fingers is to wash your hair. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing later. I'm going to need to do it anyway. So again, dark colour, so you don't want loads and loads of ink on here. You can always add more if you want to. Okay, so let's start going over that. And of course there is some residual ink on the mask as well, so it will pick up a little bit of that as well. So between uses, obviously I haven't washed mine because I knew I was going to do my video to show you how to make this. but if you are obviously moving on to another project using different colours, you will have to make sure that's cleaned up, otherwise you'll get the carryover of the ink. Okay, right, that looks good enough. And of course, because it's all lined up, if we wanted to replace it we could. There we go, that looks fantastic. That's better than the original one in my opinion. So all of these are going to go to one side to be wiped off in a bit. Like I say, just chuck them in the sink or use your chamois or whatever. Okay, so that's looking beautiful. Okay, and then of course the beauty of using a stamp positioning tool of some description for this means that we can now line up this stamp. So you want to make sure this is nice and clean before you pop it on top of your project, otherwise you're going to end up with ink everywhere. Okay, and then we can just lay this over the top and just line it up. I just need to bring that a little bit closer to me so I can see that it's lined up. So just bear with me a second. Get that hair out of the way. It's not difficult to line up, you just want to take your time to do it though, because this will make or break your card kind of thing. So I'm just going to keep everything lined up, get the magnet out of the way, oops, and pick up that stamp. Just going to grab the case to support the lid, so that's come off, but it doesn't matter. Now that everything's all lined up, it won't matter. And we're just going to use the Memento black to stamp over the top of this and give it that lovely crisp black outline. You could not do the outline, you could just leave it like that if you wanted to. But there's something about once you transform this, it just looks amazing with the black outline, in my personal opinion. Look at that. I just think it just knocks it out of the park, basically. Isn't that amazing how they all work together? Okay, right, so let's pop this away now. Oops. And we will need our coordinating dies. So this is the die set, the Enduring Beauty dies. So everything has the same name now when you buy a bundle, which is awesome. So I'm trying to remember lots of different names. You do get loads of extra leaves and things as well. So if you wanted to, you know, expand this a little bit, you could do. You could put some more greenery on there. Okay, and then we want to just line this up so that we can get it die cut. Okay, so this is a large die. I don't think it fits through the mini machine. I think you'd have to use the big one. So let's just grab, I think it's too wide. Ooh, you might get away with it. Let's use the clear one, shall we? That's the top plate. You might just about get away with it if you line it up right, but you'd have to have your paper cut down really tight around your image. Okay, I'm just going to pop that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Reckon this would actually decoupage really well as well, actually. I think if you were to stencil your flowers, stencil your leaves, die cut them both and then lay them on top of each other, I think they'd look really cool. Really cool. Like fussy cut a little bit. I think it'd be really amazing. Okay, so that's all popped out. Put that to one side out the way. Okay. and then we can start pulling some things together. So I've brought in some fresh freesia cardstock. I haven't scored this yet, so let's just check this is the right width. Not quite, so I must have just cut this, must have cut another one and then not trimmed this bit down, so you have to just take off a little skinny bit. So if I cut mine to 4 1/8 using A4, and then I'm going to score it at 5 7/8 of an inch. So that one becomes at the front, so I can just get that scored and then give it a good sharp crease. Okay. Start to our card base. So I use Pretty Peacock for the card base on the other one, but we'll use fresh freesia this time round. I die cut, and then I've got what I call my mini layers. So this is a piece of the lemon lime twist and a piece of basic white. Okay, so the basic white is 3 by 4 3/4, and then this one is 3 1/8 by 4 7/8 of an inch. That is exactly 1 inch shorter and narrower than the card base. Okay. So this is just going to go on right in front of me, and I couldn't see it. Just going to pop some seal on the back of this and put on this layer. And this is actually going to go flat on the card. On the sample I've popped it up because it was all, the rest of it was flat. So flat for this bit. Okay, and then you want to get that lined up. So the greens and the freesia go together really nicely. Grey would go with this combo really nicely as well if you wanted to, if you were looking to do something different. So there's our base, and then this guy is going to sit over the top and break those borders a little bit on the left and the right, which I think is just going to give it just a real nice feminine look. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to change my sentiment on this one as well, because it's given me an idea, because this is going to make a really terrific Mother's Day card, isn't it? And isn't today? It's today's Mother's Day, isn't it? The day this goes live. So, if you are looking to do something quickly this morning before you go out and visit your mother, this doesn't take too long to do. So just eyeballing that, seeing whether I can get it nice and even. Break, and like I say, I like to break the borders of that layer a little bit. So let's go there. Okay. Now, so of course I haven't got that stamp set out. I need Heartfelt Hexagon, that's what I need. Where's that going to be then? Oh, well, Heartfelt Hellos. Heartfelt Hellos? Oh, that's a celebration set. So, okay, we can't get this anymore, but it's in there. So you could use the Mother's Day sentiment, okay, but because that's not available, we'll stick with what we've got and just use the Enduring Beauty set, okay. So when I die cut this, oh my goodness, I can't pick it up. There's a strip at the bottom there that we can use, I think. Let's just peel this back on itself. So that's torn that a little bit, which I knew it would. That's fine. It was going to be scrap anyway. So I think what we'll do is we'll cut off the bottom of this. How big does it need to be? Is it an inch or a... Yeah. We'll cut this down off the bottom and use that little piece there. to stamp our sentiment. Might trim it down a bit as well actually. How big does this need to be? About 3 inches. Let's do that, 3 inches. It'll shrink a little bit when we punch it. Gosh. Not doing very well with my grip today. Okay, little teeny tiny piece of cardstock there. And then we'll just use our memento. So you're going to need to get right over the top of that and make sure it's straight-ish. And hopefully you're not seeing all my top of my head there. Apologies if you do. So that looks about right. It's a nice firm pressure. So I have been asked before, how do I get my black memento to look so crisp? And I can tell you, really, honestly, it's about just keeping it well inked up. Use your refills, so you get refills for the ink pads. Okay, so having a refill handy is really great. Okay, so the first sign of it looking a little bit on the washed out side, I add a bit more re-inker to that. Put that back to one side, and then I'm going to use this punch, which I have forgotten the name of. It's the one with the postage ends on it. Oh. I'm so used to using the banner one, I forgot to look it up. It'll be in the back here somewhere, so bear with. Where are, there they are. Happy Labels Pico Punch, it's called. And I'm using this little sort of mini scallop thing. Okay, because it's 1 inch in, because it's 1 inch, that's going to fit in there really nice. Just slide it in, but you just want to make sure that it lines up nicely. So if you're cutting it off, it's not always absolutely perfect. So just make sure it's lined up. Then we'll cut both ends of that. Just slot that in. And just make sure it's straight at the back. And again. So say it takes off about 1/8 of an inch off the ends. So you just might want to just consider that when you're cutting down your piece of cardstock. And in fact, I might trim that down some more actually. I might take it off again. A little bit. So if you do both ends again, that's going to take another 1/4 of an inch or so off that. I don't want it to overpower this lovely design that I've created, obviously. So where did I go? There it is. Oops. Yeah, so that's a bit better. And then we can pop that on more dimensionals, of course. Might want a couple on this one. Just make sure that's well supported. It's quite wide, but not too close to the edge because it's going to fall off the edge of these other layers. So we'll just pop that in, and again it's breaking that border and it's being framed by the other elements on the card. And then of course we want some bling, because, you know, bling. And again, don't want to introduce any more colour, so I'm going to use these Pretty Peacock pearls. These are from the Blooming Pearls collection. That's that adhesive doesn't want to come with it, so just help it off there. There we go. one on the corner of this, just brings it all together. Like so. So don't forget, of course, if you want matching embellishments and you've got like the iridescent pearls or rhinestones or whatever that are plain, you can go over them with one of your alcohol markers, and that will make them colour up the same. Doesn't that look lovely? Okay, really like that. And this is the other one, which has, I don't know, it's just different, isn't it? Having it straight on and simple. Okay, or die cut it out with the frame behind it. So I hope you like those ideas. Okay, I still think this sentiment might help be good for a mum as well, actually, especially if you're one of many, have lots of siblings. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to take a quick look at the description. There's a link to my blog post featuring this card and a few more photos in different angles. You can also go straight to the Inspire Create Challenges blog post, where you can enter and submit your own design using these 3 colours. There will also be links to everything I've used today as well, where it's still available. Alright, thanks ever so much for joining me. I hope you're staying safe, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!